it is Hillary here of Creative Faith, and today I'm going to be working in my Adventure Awaits devotion book. And to start off, I'm just doing a little flip through of what I have done so far in this devotion journal. And I'll be sure to put a link in the description below so you guys can get this kit for yourself. I saw them in my Etsy store and they come chock full of fun little extras to use on your pages. And so today I am using this set, this printable set from Allie scraps. And I will put a link in the description below also so that you can check out this kit. I just printed off 2 of the pieces in this printable set, but I thought they were so perfect to match with the page and to match with the Adventure Awaits kit. This set, the printable says claim ticket, and my page today is all about kind of material possessions and what do we really need in life. And so this has been something that God has been just teaching me a lot through lately, and just focusing on trying to kind of live with more simplicity in my physical objects that I buy and invite into kind of my space and my apartment and my life. And so that's kind of the heart behind this page. And so I started by gluing down a traveler's notebook card that had some stamps like for traveling. And then I glued down the piece from Allie Scraps. And I was using a planner glue pen, which I have been loving lately. I got mine at Craft Warehouse. And then to create a background, I am using Distress ink. My friend Maria sent me these a while ago, and I have been loving playing with them. I think this one is called Linen or something like that. And so I'm using my favorite technique. I am just smooshing it onto a sheet of plastic and getting it wet, and then pushing it down on the page. And there is some bleed through, but that doesn't really bother me. I don't like prepping my pages, and so I will just on the other side figure out a creative way to cover up the bleed through. And you'll notice that I am smooshing all around also the pieces that I glued onto the page just to make it look more like they were a part of the page to begin with. I could have used sticker paper, but I'm trying to kind of save my sticker paper right now. And if I had used sticker paper, it would have, I think, covered up. You wouldn't have been able to see it as well as if using just normal paper. And then I love on the little printable from Allie that there are a bunch of little triangles, if you guys will see that, and I really liked that, and so I wanted to kind of mimic that because I have a triangle stencil, and so I'm using a different Distress ink in blue and using a baby wipe to cover the stencil with Distress inks to make a bunch of little tiny triangles. And the blue color that I am using is called Broken China. And so a little bit behind like why I created this page. So the story on the page that you guys can kind of read is talking about how I am a chronic packer. I frequently overpack, but how God, when he sent out the disciples, really told them to not bring anything. And I just was feeling super convicted about that. And when I was living in the Dominican Republic, so in high school and in college, I would probably go shopping for new clothes, I would say maybe every weekend or every other weekend. I loved shopping for new clothes, and I really felt like my kind of identity was sucked into that. But living in another country, I didn't make a lot living there, and I didn't have a car. I hardly ever went shopping for clothes, and now I'm kind of the same. I very rarely buy new clothing, and I think that's really good for me. I don't need to be surrounding myself with new items. I was turning to shopping instead of turning to the Lord, and that also kind of has happened now with craft supplies and like house decorations. I really have tried to stop purchasing things because I don't know, I just have been filling my life with so much physical stuff, but really God just wants us to be with Him and wants us to be satisfied and complete in Him and content with what He blesses us with. And I just think we live in a very consumer-filled society, and I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. And so I've just been trying to be very mindful about what I'm investing my money in, and just trying to be, very careful and remembering that really all we need in life is the Lord. So now I am just trimming around the page, getting rid of the extra from the travel notebook card and kind of cleaning up the edges. And then you're going to see that I pull out the book Present Over Perfect. I read this book a few months ago, kind of towards the beginning of the year, end of last year, and it was such a phenomenal book, and I had gifted it to my boss at the church, and she just finished reading it, and she was journaling a lot of the passages from this book, and so she's doing that right now, and so it was kind of bringing up more conversations about this book and what the author had to say. And a lot of this, or part of this book, is all about simplifying your life and kind of, again, going along with this theme of what do we really need. And so some of the quotes just really stuck out at me, so I flipped through and found the passages about material possessions, and I really wanted to copy them down. I think there's a lot of power in copying down prayers and Bible verses, but also book quotes. I love reading books. I have always loved reading, and so God really speaks to me through other authors too and what they have to say, because I think I mentioned this before that, sometimes I don't feel like I'm super smart. And so getting to read what other authors have to say about the Bible and about Jesus is just so inspiring to me. And so you'll just see I'm copying down a few quotes that really spoke to me about aching for simplicity and how living a simple life helps kind of free us a little bit too. So to end my page here, I am using some of our Creative Faith prayer phrases, and this is a digital kit in my Etsy store, and I'll put the link in the description below to grab these. And I sized them like 2 to a page so that they would be a little bit smaller. But I have been loving using these. It just helps me journal out my prayers a little bit more. And so I'm just writing a prayer asking God to help me live a simpler life and kind of desire to give things away instead of hoarding them all for myself. So that is it for the video today. I would invite you guys to head to my Etsy store and grab the Adventure Awaits devotion kit. It was my very first one and one of my favorites. And be sure to check out the other resources I have in the description box. Leave any questions or comments you have below, and I would love to get back to you and kind of continue talking about this theme as we remember that our relationship with the Lord is a big adventure. Bye, guys!